That was Kirsten Adamson singing a lovely song entitled Paradise Road from her new album, also entitled Paradise Road. It's now 8:30. My name is Patrick Logan, and you're listening to the new album releases here on Radio Shamrock at the Mother Teresa's Home for the Lost and Bewildered in our fair city of Dublin. Now, the next album up is by a Canadian who was actually born here in Ireland and has just released his first album as a songwriter. His name is Stefan Molyneux, I think I pronounced that correctly, and we were actually going to interview him here on the show tonight, but sadly he can't make it. But we're lucky to be able to talk by phone to his agent, Joe Paloma, all the way from New York, would you believe, in the good old USA. Hello, Joe, are you there?
I was doing a fucking interview at 1 o'clock.
Joe?
And now you're saying
2 o'clock. I distinctly remember.
no, as always, you never fucking
Joe.
listen.
So what do I do with your lunch there?
Oh dear.
Oh, shut your dirty
We
mouth.
had him a minute ago, but
Okay?
seems to be a little bit of trouble going on there.
Hello.
Hello, Joe. Tell me, have we caught you at a bad time?
No, it's my wife. She's just being an asshole.
Joe, before we continue, can I ask you to possibly refrain from using such, shall we say, colourful language? I mean, the show is not going out live. It's being recorded, and we can certainly bleep out the offensive words, but if you can try to avoid it, it would make things a lot easier for us. Okay?
Yeah, sure, no problem. You know, back in the States, no one gives a shit about bad jeez.
There you go again, Joe.
My apologies, sorry.
So what happened to Stefan then? He's not ill, is he?
No, he's just tied up with work. He did a 10.5-hour show recently called The Truth About the Fall of Rome, but it turned out to be full of mistakes, you know, wrong information and such, so he's having to redo it. You see, basically, he just copies stuff out of historical books. I mean, how could he know the truth about that period when he wasn't even there? He does that a lot, the truth about this, the truth about that. So it turned out he copied data from a publication that was written by an amateur. And it's full of inaccuracies. So that's what he's doing right now.
Well, we don't know much about him over here, but I've been given some notes, and it says here that he's a bit of a philosopher. Is that right?
Well, he's not really a philosopher. He's more of a thinker, really.
A thinker?
Yeah, he thinks he's a philosopher.
Now, why do you say that?
Well, he's read a lot of books on the subject, but he's not a so-called qualified philosopher, really. I mean, he's always contradicting himself. I keep telling him he's the guy who put the word dick into contradict. Get it?
Well,
but I have to say, I'm a little concerned about his mental state these days.
Oh, really? What's the problem?
I think he's in the early stages of senile dementia.
Oh, that's very unfortunate.
That's why I encouraged him to do this album, you know, because he's made a fortune since he jumped on the Trump train, you know what I mean? And he can't keep discussing world affairs if he's fucking nuts. Oh, sorry.
Joe, we'll bleep that one out, don't worry.
Sorry.
But try to watch it, okay?
Yeah, I will.
Okay, carry on.
Yeah, back in the old days, he was a kind of investigative journalist kind of guy, doing a lot of research and stuff, but over the years, he's not been doing it. For example, he's always been against selling weapons to Middle Eastern countries because, as he says, it always ends up causing terror attacks on us in the West. But when Trump did that big weapons deal in Saudi Arabia, did he talk about it on his channel? No, he didn't. And when I spoke to him about it, he said, oh, yeah, I saw it, but I forgot all about it, you know. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, dear.
The same with that story in Portland where a guy told 2 young Muslim girls to get off a train. 2 other guys who tried to help the girls were stabbed to death. Did Steph feature this and condemn it as a terrorist attack? No. And he's always gone on about Muslims having a low IQ, but you know that kid that did that terrible thing in Manchester, England?
Yes, of course.
Well, his mother's a nuclear science engineer. I mean, you gotta talk about these things, create a balance, you know what I mean?
Yes, of course.
And he didn't even mention that one of the kid's family members reported him long before the act.
And I did hear some rumors about him being a bit of a racist.
Yeah, he's done a few shows where actually, I hate it when he refers to his online stuff as shows. To me, a show is, dancing girls, a magician, or a dog jumping through hoops. Anyway, he's done some shows where he completely justified some police officers or private citizens shooting dead some black kids. But he's never ever done one about the many cops obviously murdering black people. But I think we shouldn't call him a racist because I think that was just the early signs of his illness, you know.
Well, you could be right there.
Me personally, I couldn't care less if someone's black, white, green, purple, orange. I don't care.
Of course.
You know, somebody sent me a tape of a young guy called Rashid from India. I mean, if it wasn't for his Indian accent, you would swear it was Elvis Presley. That's how good he was.
Oh, wow.
Well, you know, in India, they got these freaky-looking kids born with like 3 legs and 4 noses and stuff. Well, he was born with 10 arms.
Oh, my goodness me.
So I thought, how am I going to sell this to the public? You know what I did?
No, tell me.
I went out to my local store, bought 10 candles. I put 1 in each hand. I lit them and I said, "You're now the singing candelabra." I got him a 2-year contract to the Las Vegas hotel, and he's selling out every night.
Well done, you. Okay, getting back to Stefan Molyneux.
Oh, sorry, I do that all the time. I go off track.
So maybe a career change might be a good thing then.
Yeah, I saw him singing on his YouTube channel. I thought it wasn't bad.
Cocerum ne sancte thronum.
I thought maybe he could be the next paparazzi. You know that Italian guy that died a while back?
I think you're talking about Pavarotti.
Yeah, that's the kid. So, through his singing on YouTube, he got a job in an opera house as a singing men's room attendant. It was a really nice place too, but he was told that staff were not allowed to use the facilities. They would have to go to the staff room. But of course, staff, being the snob that he is, he didn't want to associate himself with other staff members, did he? So he disobeyed the rule. And right in the middle of the opera Carmen, his boss walked in. He was fired on the spot. So I sent some recordings of him singing to some record producers, you know, but they didn't like it. They thought he sounded too creepy.
Oh dear.
But I don't give up, you know. I thought, okay, he's got a creepy voice. What about using him in horror movies?
In what way, Joe?
Well, you know those trailers they play where you hear the music going down, 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 and you hear that kind of ooh, that kind of stuff. So we booked a studio. I took my video camera along and I filmed the whole thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I got my grandson to do some music on it. He does all that hip rock stuff in his bedroom. And I got this old Frankenstein movie, and I sort of dubbed that over the top, just to give it a professional look, you know? But I think you've got it, yeah?
Yes, we have, Joe. This is for radio, of course, but I'm sure the listeners will be able to figure out what's going on. So let's play it.
What soundscape are we following here?
Just do whatever you want.
Can I give you a sound?
Just a scary voice, really. Try a kind of... I'll put some reverb on it. Okay, Steph, let's go for it. Stefan Molyneux, creepy voice test, take 1.
So what do you think?
Yeah, interesting. But did any work come out of that then?
Well, I sent it out to a lot of film producers, but they thought he was just too creepy, really.
Well, his voice didn't sound that creepy to me, to be honest.
No, not his voice. They thought Steph was too creepy. As a person.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yep, that's showbiz.
But I'm surprised he didn't pursue a career in the movie industry, because he did write a script and produce a film, didn't he?
Yeah, well, it was only 20 minutes long, really, but I don't know. I found it boring, you know what I mean? It's about a young guy goes to the Second World War and he comes back a broken man, you know? How original is that, you know? And with him being away so long, his wife was kind of gagging for some horizontal refreshment, you know what I mean? I said to Steph, why don't you call it Saving Ryan's Privates?
Oh, Joe, you're a bad man.
Yeah, I know, sorry.
Now, it says here on my notes that he doesn't actually sing on the album himself. Is that right?
Yeah, well, with this label of Mr. Creepy, I decided we should use other singers, you know. And after all, the album's all about Europe, so I decided to use European artists. Stefan does speak on it now and again.
Well, we have the TV promotion video here, so we'll just play
What?
it and have a...
The TV promotional video?
Yes, the one that Stefan sent today.
No, there's something wrong here. You've got the album I sent you, right?
Yeah, yes, I've got that, but Steph says to play the TV promo.
But we didn't make a TV promo.
Well, hold on, I'm looking at the email here. He says, don't play the album, he says, play the TV promo, because I've remixed the whole thing with the original lyrics.
The original lyrics? No, I got him to change the lyrics. You can't play that. Oh, Jesus.
Well, it's Stefan's album, so let's give it a spin.
No, oh, for fuck.
Do you remember this?
What do you call a woman who hands her pussy out like candy?
We call that woman a whore.
That's right.
Well, he's back. Stefan Molyneux. Probably the greatest mind of the 21st century. A man who has inspired a generation, and probably generations to come.
If I go to a French restaurant, I don't want to sit down and order Chinese. Not that easy to blend when you don't look the same. Angela Merkel doesn't have any kids. The fuck does she care? She just wants power. 1 million predominantly white girls groomed or raped by Pakistani men. We wanted to visit Ireland, or it is known these days, the Emerald Isle of Somalia.
And now his words into music. His debut album, Stefan Molyneux.
I can't go back.
12 well-crafted songs that tell the heartbreaking story of places he could never ever go back to. And performed by Europe's finest vocalists like Fritz von Strudel from Germany.
Angela Merkel, she don't give a fuck. She don't have no daughters who'll be raped by these people. Mein Führer, we wish you were here. They don't have blonde hair and their eyes are not blue. And from France, Pierre Lefranc. Where have all our restaurants gone? The Muslims went and shut them down. Now we have to eat halal when we much prefer our snails. Once it was known as Gay Paris, but now it's a shithole as you can see. And from London, the late Tommy Gunn. Look what they've done to our buses. They plastered all of his grey along the side. There was 1 million rapes in Rotherham. How long before London town? And one of Ireland's best, Paddy Fields. They invaded Ireland in their sailing ships, and they're all different shades of brown. It's hard to blend in when you don't look the same, and they're bringing the whole place down. They won't get no jobs with their low IQ, and soon we'll be under attack. It's the Emerald Isle of Somalia, and I can't go back.
I will never be able to go home again.
Order your copy now and get 3 bonus tracks.
Would I lie to you? Would I lie to you? Would I lie to you? I will survive. I will survive.
We will rock you.
Stefan Molyneux.
I can't go back.
Well, Joe, sorry, but there's no way that could go out on the radio. It's just, I mean, the guy's a... Joe, are you there? Hello, Joe? Oh, we've lost Joe. Okay, time to put the kettle on, I think. Oh, let me play some music, calm me down a bit. Ah, that's the one. He's a loser and a wannabe, a phony and a liar. He's the devil in a sweatshirt, and he's stoking up that fire. He's a spreader of hatred towards folks you don't even know, and I can't help but feeling that man's got to go. If you're tired of the mainstream, their style you might despise, but take a look at the alternative who give you alternative lies. And Stefan, he's the biggest con man around. But it's time that this asshole was knocked down to the ground. Stefan, you're a scumbag with a poisoned point of view, and I pray that your daughter doesn't end up like you.